You know those people who have had the same motorcycle for 15 years and it still looks like it just came out of the dealership? It's not luck. It's not that they have a workshop at home or that they're millionaires changing parts every week. It's that they know the secrets that really make a bike last a lifetime. That's why today, I'm going to share with you 10 keys that separate those who change bikes every 2 years from those who accumulate miles and memories without the machine complaining. And the most important ones are the first spots on this list. Let's start. Secret number 10. The art of starting cold without destroying the engine. Okay, you've heard it 1,000 times, but it's worth repeating because it's the #1 mistake that kills young engines. When your bike has been parked all night, the oil has drained to the lowest part of the sump, and it's also cold, which means it's thick like honey and doesn't flow well. If you start up and blast off demanding power from the engine, the metal parts are rubbing against each other with very little lubrication during the first few seconds. That's micro wear that accumulates, and one day, without warning, it turns into a metallic noise that can't be fixed. The secret isn't just letting the bike idle for 30 seconds. That's fine, but not enough. What really makes the difference is driving smoothly for the first few miles without hard acceleration, without going over 4,000 revolutions per minute, letting the oil warm up and flow as it should. The engine isn't a washing machine you can run at full blast from minute 1. It needs a progressive warm-up, and you only achieve that by riding smoothly. Do it always, and your engine will thank you with thousands of extra miles. Secret number 9. The neutral dilemma at traffic lights. Here, there's an eternal debate among riders. Some say you should put the bike in neutral at traffic lights to rest your hand, and others say you should leave it in first in case you need to take off quickly. Well, a comment I saw on a previous video got me thinking. A user recounted that he had a motorcycle for 50,000 miles and sold it with the clutch in perfect condition because he always put it in neutral at traffic lights. And that makes all the sense in the world. When you leave the bike in first with the clutch pulled in for whole minutes, you're subjecting the throw-out bearing and clutch springs to constant tension they aren't designed for. Over time, that wear shows, and you end up having to change parts sooner than you should. Also, and if you're hit from behind with the bike in first and the clutch released, you run the risk of lurching forward uncontrollably. The most sensible option for your bike's health and your safety is to put it in neutral when the stop is long, like at a red light, and only keep it in first if you know you'll be moving again in seconds. Your hand rests, the clutch rests, and you're safer. Secret number 8. Gasoline and a full tank when you park. This is another one of those debates that generate conflicting opinions. The user in the comments said he left his bike parked for a month with a full tank and had no problem. And he's largely right. Modern bikes with plastic or treated steel tanks handle gasoline well without deteriorating. But there's an important nuance not everyone knows. If your bike has a steel tank and you leave it half empty for long periods, the air inside has moisture, and that moisture condenses on the metal walls, causing rust over time. That rust ends up at the bottom of the tank, passes through the fuel filter, and can reach the injectors, causing blockages. On the other hand, gasoline also degrades, loses its properties, and can leave sticky residues if it sits stagnant for a long time. The sensible middle ground is this. If you're going to leave the bike parked for more than 15 days, fill the tank to the top to minimize the air inside, and add a fuel stabilizer if it's going to be months without moving. That way, you avoid rust in steel tanks, and keep the gasoline in acceptable condition for when you ride again. Secret number 7. The chain isn't tensioned the way you think. The chain is one of those elements everyone looks at, but almost no one really understands. The most common mistake is tightening it too much, thinking that will prevent it from jumping or making noise. But an excessively tight chain is a death sentence for the transmission output shaft bearings, the swing arm, and the rear wheel bearings. When the suspension compresses going over a bump, the distance between the front and rear sprockets increases, and the chain needs that slack to adapt. If it's tight like a guitar string, the transmission receives a sharp jolt every time the suspension works, and that ends up destroying very expensive parts. The secret is to respect the slack indicated by the manufacturer, which is usually between 3/4 of an inch and 1 1/4 inches of vertical movement at the midpoint of the chain. And an important tip, always check the tension with the bike on the ground and with someone sitting on it or simulating the rider's weight, because the unloaded suspension gives a false reading. A properly tensioned chain not only lasts longer, it also transmits power better and prevents scares on the road. Secret number 6. Oil is changed by hours, not just by miles. Everyone looks at the odometer to know when it's time for an oil change. 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 miles depending on the bike. But there's a factor almost no one takes into account, and that's the time the oil spends working, not just the miles the bike travels. A bike used for short city trips, with continuous cold starts and stops, degrades the oil much faster than a bike that does constant highway riding. The oil undergoes more thermal cycles, accumulates more moisture and unburned fuel, and loses its properties sooner. That's why those in the know don't just look at the odometer, they also look at how they use the bike. If you only do short trips, change the oil more often than the manual says. And if you have the bike parked for a long time without using it, change it even if you haven't reached the mileage, because oil also degrades over time and with humidity. Oil is the blood of your engine. Keeping it fresh is the best investment you can make. These first 5 secrets are the ones you apply every day without realizing it, from the moment you turn the key until you park and get off. They are usage habits, decisions you make in seconds, but that in the long run add years to your engine's life. But the ones that follow are more about strategy, thinking ahead, looking at the bike with different eyes, and they are what really prevent the bike from one day saying enough. Secret number 5. The silent enemy that corrodes cables. Your bike's cables, the throttle cables, the clutch cable, the speedometer cable, are made of braided metal covered by a plastic sheath. Over time and with use, the sheath hardens, and the friction of the cable inside slowly files away the metal. If you don't lubricate those cables periodically, what happens is that one day, at the worst moment, the cable snaps. And a snapped throttle cable in the middle of a corner or a broken clutch cable at a stoplight on a hill are not pleasant experiences. The secret is to lubricate them at least once a year with a specific cable lubricant and a tool called a cable luber that costs about $5. You can also drip a few drops of light oil into the cable entry and let it slide down. It seems like a silly thing. But cables are one of those parts that when they fail, they leave you stranded without warning, and changing them on time is cheap, but the repair if they break can be more complicated. Secret number 4. The rust spots no one looks at until it's too late. Rust doesn't just appear on the tank or the exhaust. It appears in places almost no one looks until it's too late. The bolts on the brake calipers, the foot peg brackets, the exhaust clamps, the washers on the headlight brackets. All those small, untreated steel details are the first to rust when the bike gets wet or when you live near the sea. The problem isn't aesthetic, it's that a rusty bolt can snap when you try to tighten or loosen it, and if it's a brake caliper bolt, things get serious. The secret is to do a visual inspection every so often and apply a little grease or anti-rust oil to those critical points. It also helps to wash the bike after riding on salted roads or after a day at the beach, and not store it wet in the garage. Rust is slow but relentless, and prevention is much easier than repair. Secret number 3. Brake fluid kills your ABS if you don't change it. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, which is a fancy word for saying it absorbs moisture from the air. That moisture it accumulates over time lowers the fluid's boiling point, meaning that during demanding braking, the fluid can boil and stop transmitting the force you apply at the lever. But the problem doesn't end there. Moisture also causes internal corrosion throughout the system, and on bikes with ABS, this is especially serious because the valves and passages in the ABS module have very tight tolerances. If corrosion damages them, the module can fail, and its repair doesn't go below $1,000. The secret is to change the brake fluid every 2 years without fail, even if the manual says it can last longer. In humid climates, even every year. And always use the fluid specified by the manufacturer. Mixing types can give unpredictable results. Fresh fluid not only brakes better, it also protects the entire system from internal corrosion. Secret number 2. Cheap brake pads are expensive, When it's time to change the brake pads, it's tempting to buy the cheapest ones you find. After all, they're pads, and they stop the bike the same, you think. Well, no, that's not the case. Cheap brake pads often use low-quality materials that can be too hard for your rotors. That means instead of wearing down themselves, they wear down the rotors much faster. And changing brake rotors costs money you don't even want to imagine. Also, cheap pads have worse cold bite, lose effectiveness with heat, and can increase braking distances in emergency situations. The secret is to buy quality pads from recognized brands and suitable for your riding style. If you ride smoothly, organic pads work well. If you're more aggressive or ride in the mountains, sintered pads are better. Spend a little more on the pads and you'll save a ton on rotors and on safety. Secret number 1, the greatest secret of all, consistency. And we arrive at the most important secret, the one that encompasses all the others, and the only one that truly guarantees your bike will reach old age without problems. It's not a specific technique or a miracle part, it's consistency. Most people take care of the bike when they remember, when they see a light on the dash, or when something starts sounding weird. But by then, the damage is already done. The real secret of those who have had the same bike for 15 years is that they do things always, on time, without putting them off. They check tire pressure every week, change the oil when it's due, lubricate the chain every 300 miles, adjust the cables periodically, check fluid levels once a month. It's not that they're obsessive, and it's that they've understood that consistency is the only way to avoid breakdowns. A bike doesn't break suddenly. It breaks because someone stopped doing something when they were supposed to. So if you only take one secret from this video, let it be this one: consistency. Do things on time, always, and your bike will last longer than your desire to change it. There you have them. 10 secrets that aren't in the manuals, but that experienced riders apply daily so their machines reach 60,000, 120,000 miles without faltering. From starting smoothly to the importance of consistency, it all adds up. Now tell me in the comments, which of these secrets do you already practice, and which do you think you should start applying? Is there any other trick you use that I haven't mentioned? If this video helped you, share it with that friend who treats their bike like they're going to trade it in next year. See you in the next one.